Hello students, myself Dhananjay Kulkarni, teacher in physics from Ferguson College. During last lecture, we started the topic types of AC circuits, in which we discussed resistive AC circuit, inductive AC circuit and some part of capacitive AC circuit. And in case of capacitive AC circuit, we obtain expression for capacitive reactance and which was Xc, that is equal to 1 upon omega c or equal to 1 upon 2 pi Fc. We are going to continue with this topic, for which let us switch over to PowerPoint presentation. So during last lecture, we had studied that capacitive reactance Xc is given by the formula 1 upon omega c. Replacing omega by 2 pi f, we get the expression X is equal to 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Now graphically, if we show variation of capacitive reactance with the frequency, the nature of the graph you get like this, which is shown in the figure. And here X is inversely proportional to the frequency. That's why nature of the graph is like this. So here X is inversely proportional to F as well as C. So if frequency is high, capacitive reactance is low. Or if capacitance of a capacitor is high, the capacitive reactance is also low. SI unit of capacitive reactance is ohm, same like resistance. The function of capacitive reactance in a purely capacitive circuit is to limit the amplitude of the current in purely resistive circuit. In DC circuit, frequency is 0 because it is not an alternating current, it is a direct current, so frequency is 0 and that's why X is equal to infinity. Capacitor blocks DC and acts as open circuit while it passes AC of high frequency. Now let us see what is the graphical variation of EMF and current with respect to the phase omega t. This is the nature of the graph, and here you will observe that the EMF is 0 when the phase is 0. For that, what is basic equation? Is equal to E naught sine omega t. So variation of EMF with respect to phase is like a sine function. So initially at instant t is equal to 0 or phase is 0, the EMF value is equal to 0. EMF is maximum when the phase is pi by 2. EMF is again 0 when the phase is pi. EMF is maximum on the reverse side when the phase is 3 pi by 2, and EMF is 0 when phase is 2 pi. For the current is having peak value plus I naught when the phase is 0. The current has 0 value when the phase is pi by 2. The current has maximum value but in the opposite direction, that is equal to minus I naught when the phase is pi. When the phase is 3 pi by 2, the current has 0 value, and again when the phase is 2 pi, current is peak on the opposite side, that is equal to plus I naught. Now we know expression for the current is I is equal to I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2, and for the EMF is equal to E naught sine of omega t. If we compare the phase for the EMF and phase for the current, what is the difference in the phase? Difference in the phase is pi by 2. And that's why I can say that the current leads the EMF in phase by pi by 2 radians. In other words, we can say that the EMF lag behind the current in phase by pi by 2 radians. So there is a phase difference of pi by 2 radians between the current and the EMF. Phasor diagram, if we show for purely capacitive circuit, then we represent the EMF with the help of a phase, and this is the vector. Now for EMF, what is the phase? Omega t. That's why this phasor will make angle omega t in anti-clockwise direction with the horizontal. If we take projection of that on a y-axis, then we get instantaneous EMF whose value is given by E is equal to E naught sine omega t. Now for current leads the EMF in phase by pi by 2 radians, and leading direction we take in anti-clockwise direction. So what should be angle between EMF and current? It should be pi by 2, that is 90 degree. So we have to draw a vector which is representing the current, that is the phasor for the current. which is making angle 90 degree with the EMF. And that's why here we have drawn a current phasor which is leading in phase by pi by 2 radians. Here is 90 degree angle. If we take projection of this phasor, current phasor on y-axis, we'll get instantaneous current, which is given by the formula I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2, which you have already seen in the derivation. The phasor representing peak value E naught makes an angle omega t in anticlockwise direction from the horizontal axis, and the phasor representing I naught is turned 90 degree anticlockwise with the direction of E naught as the current leads the voltage by pi by 2 radians. So this was about application of AC to purely capacitive circuit. Let us now understand the difference between resistance and reactance. Resistance is equally effective for AC and DC. Current is affected, means reduced, but the energy is not consumed. Energy is not consumed means heat is not generated in case of reactance. The energy consumption by a coil is due to its resistive component. If you remember, I had stated when we studied the topic application of AC to inductor, in that case I used to mention the word pure inductor. And what is the pure inductor? Which does not have resistive component, it does not have resistance. So here, that's why this sentence is very important. The energy consumption by a coil is due to its resistive component. But in an ideal case, current is affected, but energy is not consumed in case of reactance. For resistance, its value is independent of frequency of AC. Inductive reactance XL is given by 2 pi f into L. So inductive reactance is directly proportional to the frequency and self-inductance. Whereas capacitive reactance is given by 1 upon 2 pi Fc. So it is inversely proportional to frequency of AC. For resistance, current opposed by resistor is in phase with the voltage. That we have studied application of AC to pure resistive circuit. But in case of reactance, current opposed by a pure inductor lag in phase, while that opposed by a pure capacitor leads in phase by pi by 2 radians over the voltage. Now let us revise. For pure resistive circuit, EMF current and current are in the same phase, which we have already discussed, graphical variation as well as phasor diagram. So first is graphical variation and second is the phasor diagram. So for pure resistor, current and EMF are in the same phase. For pure inductor, EMF leads the current in phase by pi by 2 radians. That is also shown with the help of phasor diagram, where angle between the two is pi by 2 radians and EMF is leading the current. That's why this difference, that is the phase difference pi by 2, is in anticlockwise direction. For purely capacitive circuit, current leads the EMF in phase by pi by 2 radians. So that also is reflected in case of phasor diagram. EMF phasor is shown in this manner and current is leading the EMF in phase by pi by 2 radians. So that is also shown with the help of this phasor diagram. Now next topic is LCR series circuit. The current at any instant through resistor, inductor and capacitor has the same amplitude and phase as these elements are connected in series. Let us consider a diagram in which the source of alternating EMF is connected across the series combination of inductor whose self-inductance is L, capacitor whose capacitance is C and resistor whose resistance is R. Now let us consider the instantaneous current which is flowing through this series combination is given by the formula I equal to I naught sine omega t. So what is phase for the current? Omega t. The voltage across each element has a different phase relationship with the current. We know that in case of the resistor, EMF and current are in the same phase, and EMF across the resistor is given by the formula current into resistance. EMF across the inductor leads the current in phase by pi by 2 radians, that is shown in this diagram, and EMF across the inductor is given by current into inductive reactance. For capacitor, EMF lag behind the current in phase by pi by 2 radians, and EMF across the capacitor is given by the formula EC, that is equal to I into XC. X is capacitive reactance. Now let us draw a phasor diagram. Here is x-axis, y-axis, origin O. Then the phasor for the current is represented by this vector, which is having peak value IO. EMF across the resistor is in the same phase as that of the current. That's why the current and EMF across the resistor are shown in the same direction. Then for inductor, EMF across the inductor is leading the current in phase by pi by 2 radians. So that is shown along positive y-axis, which is represented by vector OB. For capacitor, the EMF across the capacitor lag behind the current in phase by pi by 2 radians. EMF across capacitor is represented by EC, and in the diagram it is represented by vector OC. Now EL and EC are in opposite direction. We have to find out their resultant, and their resultant is represented by EL minus EC, considering EMF across the inductor is greater than EMF across the capacitor. Definitely it will depend upon the frequency. So here the difference EL minus EC is represented by vector OB dash. Here one care is to be taken while drawing diagram, that EMF across the inductor is represented by OB, EMF across the capacitor is represented by OC. So whatever is the length of this vector OC, that we have to subtract from the upper part, and wherever it comes, that will be the difference EL minus EC. So here OB dash represents EL minus EC. Now we have to complete the parallelogram. So diagonal of the parallelogram will show the resultant, and resultant is represented by OK bar, and that is the EMF E across entire series combination. Now the phase difference between the EMF and the current is represented by phi. Here we can see that EMF is leading the current in phase by phi radians. Now in the right angle triangle OAK, OK is the hypotenuse and OA and AK are the adjacent sides. So OK will be root of OA square plus AK square. But AK is equal and parallel to OB dash. So I can write OK is equal to root of OA square plus OB dash square. What does OK represent? It represents the peak value of the EMF. So it is E naught. OA will represent EMF across the resistor. So OA square will be ER square, and OB dash represents EL minus EC. So that's why plus EL minus EC bracket square. Now EMF across the resistor is I naught into R, EMF across the inductor is I naught into XL, and EMF across the capacitor is I naught into XC. So we get E naught equal to root of I naught R bracket square plus I naught XL minus I naught XC bracket square. So taking I naught square common and outside the square root, we get E naught equal to I naught into root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. So from this we get E naught upon I naught will be root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. If we compare this expression with the expression for Ohm's law, that is V upon I equal to R resistance, the quantity E naught upon I naught it represents the effective resistance offered by LCR series circuit to the alternating current. And instead of word resistance, we use the word impedance. So I can say that E naught upon I naught will represent the impedance offered by LCR series circuit to the alternating current flowing through it. So impedance Z will be root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Now E naught upon I naught represents Z, that is impedance. If I divide numerator and denominator by root 2, I get the same expression, that E naught upon root 2 divided by I naught upon root 2, that is equal to Z. Obviously you will ask why I am dividing numerator and denominator by root 2, because we know that E naught upon root 2, that is ERMS, I naught upon root 2 is IRMS, so ERMS upon IRMS is equal to Z. And intention of converting this expression in terms of RMS values for the current and EMF is that the AC ammeter and AC voltmeter measure RMS values of the current and EMF respectively. We never measure peak value. We always measure RMS value, and that's why this expression is converted into the RMS values. So we get that the ratio of RMS value of the EMF applied across the series combination to the RMS value of the current flowing through this series combination represents the impedance, and that is the total effective resistance of LCR series circuit. It is also the ratio of RMS voltage to RMS current. Impedance is expressed in ohm. The reciprocal of impedance is called admittance, and its SI unit is Siemens or per ohm. Commonly being used unit is Siemens. Now phasor diagram if we represent, then the EMF across the resistor is in the same phase with the current, and earlier we have seen the same diagram depicting that AK represents EL minus EC and OK represents the effective EMF. Now from the phasor diagram we will find tan phi. What is tan phi here? Opposite side, that is AK, upon adjacent side, that is OA. But AK is equal to OB dash, so tan phi is OB dash upon OA. What does OB dash represent? EL minus EC, and OA represents ER. What is EL? IO into XL, EC is IO into XC, and ER is IO into R. So if you take IO common, we get tan phi is equal to XL minus XC upon R, where phi is the phase difference between the EMF and the current. Now the relation tan phi equal to XL minus XC upon R can also be represented with the help of a triangle called impedance triangle. Now while drawing impedance triangle, adjacent side is R, that is a resistance, opposite side is XL minus XC, and hypotenuse is Z. So we get the same expression, tan phi will be opposite side, that is XL minus XC upon adjacent side, that is equal to R. So from this we get phase difference phi is tan inverse of XL minus XC upon R. So if you know the frequency of AC, then self-inductance, capacitance and resistance, we can find out what is the phase difference between the EMF and the current. When XL is equal to XC, then what do you get? Tan phi is equal to XL minus XC, numerator is 0, so tan phi is 0. And if there is 0 phase difference, then obviously EMF and current will be in the same phase. And here the circuit will be non-reactive, means neither inductive nor capacitive. That's why the word non-reactive is used. When XL is greater than XC, then tan phi is greater than 0. And tan phi is greater than 0 means phi is positive. So EMF leads the current by phase angle of phi. So the circuit is inductance dominated, means effectively the circuit will be inductive circuit. When XL is less than XC, then tan phi will be less than 0. And in this case, EMF lag behind the current in phase by phi. And in this case, the circuit is capacitance dominated. Means effectively the circuit is capacitive. Here we have impedance triangle and phasor diagram. In this diagram, with the help of first diagram, sin phi is equal to AK upon OK. And AK is equal to OB dash. So sin phi is OB dash upon OK. So that is equal to EL minus EC upon E naught. EL is I naught into XL, EC is I naught into XC, and E naught is I naught into Z. So from this we get sin phi is XL minus XC upon Z. That is equal to XL minus XC upon Z is root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. If you find cos phi, that will be OA upon OK, and O is equal to EMF across resistor. OK is the peak value of the EMF, that is E naught, and peak value of the EMF is I naught into Z, and EMF across the resistor is I naught into R. So I naught will get cancelled and we get cos phi is equal to R upon Z, that is equal to R upon root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Here just one point I would like to add, that cos phi, it is called power factor of LCR series circuit, that is there in the next topic. Now what will be the case when the resistance and inductor are in series? It is not in the textbook. I am giving you this additional information. Let us consider a circuit containing resistor and inductor connected in series and across which the source of alternating EMF is connected. Now here the EMF across the resistor is in the same phase with the current, and EMF across the inductor lead in phase by pi by 2 radians, and that's why you get this type of diagram, and resultant is represented by OB. Impedance triangle if we show, then it will be in this manner. Horizontal side will represent R resistance, then XL is opposite side, and phase is represented by phi or theta, that is equal to omega t, and a hypotenuse represents Z, that is impedance. Here Z will be root of R square plus XL square. It is so simple. For LCR series circuit, it was Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Here XC capacitance is not there, so XC is 0, and that's why Z is equal to root of R square plus XL square. So from this tan phi will be EL upon ER. So we get tan phi is equal to XL upon R. So from this we get phi is equal to tan inverse of XL upon R. If you find sin phi, that will be equal to EL upon E naught. EL is equal to I naught into XL. E naught is I naught into Z. So with this we get sin phi is equal to XL upon Z, that is equal to XL upon root of R square plus XL square. Cos phi will be ER upon E naught. ER is I naught into R. E naught is I naught into Z. I naught will get cancelled and will get cos phi equal to R upon Z, that is equal to root of R upon, that is equal to R upon root of R square plus XL square. Now what will be the case when resistor and capacitor are connected in series? For that we have a simple circuit in which resistor and capacitor are connected in series, across which the source of alternating EMF is connected. Instantaneous EMF is represented by E and peak value of the EMF is E naught. So our expression will be E is equal to E naught sin omega t. Now if we draw a phasor diagram, then in that case EMF across the resistor is in phase with the current, and EMF across the capacitor is lagging behind the current in phase by pi by 2 radians, since it is in downward direction. The resultant is represented by OD, So this is the resultant EMF which we represent by E. Length of the vector represents E naught. That is understood. Now we have to draw impedance triangle. Horizontal side will represent resistance. Opposite side will represent XC. Phase angle is phi or theta, that is equal to omega t. Hypotenuse is Z. And here what will be value of Z now? It will be root of R square plus XC square. Because here there is no inductor. For LCR series circuit, impedance was Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Here we have to just drop XL and minus XC square will be plus XC square. So Z is equal to root of R square plus XC square. Now let us find tan phi. Tan phi is equal to EC upon ER. EC is equal to I naught into XC. ER is equal to I naught into R. So tan phi is equal to XC upon R. So from this, phase angle phi will be tan inverse of XC upon R. Sin phi will be EC upon EO. That is equal to I naught into XC divided by I naught into Z. So we get sin phi is XC upon Z, that is equal to XC upon root of R square plus XC square. Cos phi will be ER upon E naught, that is equal to I naught into R upon I naught into Z. I naught will get cancelled and will get cos phi is equal to R upon Z, that is equal to R upon root of R square plus XC square. So this is the case when resistor and capacitor are connected in series. So students, in this session we continued with the concept of capacitive reactance. After that we studied about LCR series circuit. We have also compared between the resistance and reactance. In addition, we also discussed what will be the value of sin phi, cos phi, tan phi and impedance when resistance and inductor are connected in series, as well as resistance and capacitor are connected in series. Thank you.